a lot of times people want to do these internships, want to like be part of the industry. So the big step really is getting into it. Is like getting those connections, meeting people. So how did you get your internship?
So I actually, it's funny enough that you say that, meeting people. I got my internship through a person that I met through college. So
Oh,
this kid Kevin, I don't know if he wants me to use his name, but Kevin, I'll keep it Kevin. So Kevin was my orientation leader right when I transferred to Emerson.
got it.
So basically, the first week of school, you show up a week before classes start. They give you a tour of the campus, give you a tour of classrooms, like a rundown of what your 2 years is going to look like after transferring. And Kevin was my orientation leader. So he was the person who was taking me through those tours, showing me what kind of classes I would want to take. And just through my 3 previous semesters at Emerson, I got to know him better. We hung out outside of school, outside of our orientations. And then he actually ended up doing the same program that I did the semester before I did it. So,
Wow.
and he had the same exact internship. He had a good time doing it, and he only had good things to say about it. So, I don't get me wrong. I applied to dozens and dozens of internships before I settled
Hmm.
on Press Pass. Not to say Press Pass is my last option by any means.
Yeah.
But Kevin basically put my resume through faster than anyone else's because he had direct correlation with the person who ran the business.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was honestly one of the sole reasons I got the internship. That is one thing. Let me put that in now. That is one thing about like the entertainment industry in whole. Like
Hmm.
out of my 2 years out or attending Emerson, like the number one thing I learned is it's all about. All right, obviously not all, but majority of it is about who you know, not what you know.
Oh, wow.
So, like, there are so many people who genuinely don't know what they're doing out in Hollywood, but they just know that they know the producer, they know the director, they know this person who's doing all the hirings and castings, and that's how they get their jobs.
Wow. Can you like
I'm not trying
elaborate
to
on that?
expose the industry. I'm sorry.
No, that's exactly what we want to do. It's all about exposure. So, at this internship, what was your day-to-day operations? If you're allowed to tell me, of course. But what is your actual
Yeah,
work?
yeah. So, like I said, this isn't what I want to do when I get back out there, but basically, it was different every day. So,
Hmm.
some days I was on an Excel sheet and I was, typing in phone numbers for these people that we want to interview and people that we want to get in contact with that we're going to eventually set up a business deal with for this thing, that thing. Sometimes on a Friday night, I would be seen or I was given a camera by the company and they were like, hey, just do or photograph these specific people at these specific galleries and just literally stay by their side for a couple hours and just take whatever photos they want to take.
Got it.
Sometimes it was me just sitting 8 hours in a room, like at a desk on Lightroom, Adobe, and just editing photos. So I mean, it was different. And then sometimes it was going out with Jen, who is the CEO of Press Pass LA, and she would just give me like little assignments to do because ultimately, like the way that, and I'm just speaking from my own experience, just going to
Hmm.
Emerson and seeing, the other people. Because so one of the things that we did as part of the LA experiences, we all had to take an internship course. So that means that like 15 or 20 of us would be in the same classroom and we essentially just discuss what we did that week within our internships. Because it was
Got
an
it.
internship driven program. It was mandatory to obtain an internship to be part of the program.
Hmm.
So no internship, no program, essentially. So what a lot of other people did with me was they would just sit in these offices with these really high up people, and they basically just observe what they did and do whatever they asked. Like
Okay.
70% of internships, you were just someone's bitch. Is basically what it was. But the thing is, through all the bitch work you do, you see what like actual work is like. Like you see what the work
Hmm.
environment is like. You see what the people, the clients are like that you're going to work with in the future. And the most important thing, arguably, is you get this person's connection and you get another phone number in your phone.
Got it.
So whether it's you're looking for work, you're looking for a recommendation, you're looking for someone to write a letter about you, a letter of recommendation, whatever it is, you have their number in your phone and you've done work for them and you're building your own resume at the same time.
Okay. That make
So
that
what
that's
was
a
the original
lot.
question? Did I? I know it's a lot.
No, that was a really, really good answer. I was wondering about what's your perspective on that work environment? Like, how did you see it after you experienced it?
Yeah. So, um, I mean, I will say one thing, and I feel like this goes with like every job. Like, it's not all the glamour that people think it is. There are definitely days where you're sitting inside and you're like burning up and uncomfortably sweating in that room with all these people, and you're doing just
Hmm.
like computer work, and you're just like, all right, like this is not, like explosions and tons of celebrities everywhere, and just like what people think Hollywood is and what it's advertised to be. But then there's sometimes where it is like that, and you're actually on scene and you're actually seeing celebrities, and you're like, holy shit, like I'm actually part of this bubble right now. But
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. My overall thoughts on like the industry as a whole, like I said, this is just a one internship experience,
Yeah.
and not necessarily at like a grade A company. Like we're not dealing with like A-list celebrities 24/7 or whatever, or constantly on a runway. There are definitely like times where it's just like I said, time in an office where you're just doing like busy work, like you know at any other job. But there's definitely, let's put it this way. If I knew what I did now, or I would not, I probably wouldn't have gone. Well, I don't know. Sorry, I'm like thinking on the fly here. I was gonna say that I
Yeah, of
probably wouldn't
course.
have even gone to Emerson or college in general, because essentially you don't really have to go to college to get like a job in the film industry. Some
Okay.
people at 18 years old, they literally graduate high school and they just send it out west and they just pick up production assistant work, and then through that they work their way up through the ladder, and then they just eventually start landing jobs. Because, like I said, it's not really about what you know. Obviously, having a genuine like tool belt of things to know, in like whether it's knowing how to set up a stand or you're good with lighting or whatever it is, like it's good to have those hard skills. But at the end of the day, like someone has to do the hirings, and if someone knows your name, whether they know you personally or they were recommended to you by somebody who they trust, like you will get that job over someone else just because their like resume looks good. If someone can trust somebody, they're going to take that
Okay.
trust over hiring someone who they have no idea who they are.